In the early morning of June 25th, 2007, professional wrestler Chris Benoit sends a text to his friend and wrestling mate, Chavo Guerrero, that reads, "The dogs are in the enclosed pool area and the back door is open. This is the last time anyone hears from him. And this is Hold My Sweet Tea." Good morning, and welcome to Hold My Sweet Tea. I'm Holly.
And I'm Pearl.
And I'm drinking iced coffee.
That was
Not sweet tea. But good ASMR. For
yeah,
sure.
And your glass over there.
Mm-hmm. My glass coffee cup.
So before Holly starts making us all sad,
Yeah.
I want to make us a little happy.
Yay!
I have to apologize because we did not have a Sweet Tea After Dark episode this Thursday because we ran out of time.
Womp womp.
To record it. Yeah. But I have a grandbaby.
Yes. So I think that is the ultimate excuse for not recording.
I was busy at the hospital helping my daughter take care of her new son.
Yes.
So. And that's what I've been doing the last few days, too.
He is the most adorable little thing.
Is. He's so cute.
Yes.
He looks just like his mommy.
Yes, absolutely. Just like his mommy. 100%.
So, and she still says every day, she's like, when does it stop? When do I stop going, that's my baby?
Right.
Oh my God, I'm actually a mom.
Never.
That's what I said. You wake up every day going, that's my baby. Oh my God, I'm actually a mom.
Yes.
And then they're like getting on your last nerve and you're like, God damn it, I'm a mom.
Right. You came out of me. And me being the astro witch that I am, I have given him lots and lots of astrology breakdown because we are in this weird Aries stellium fire horse era and he is definitely spicy.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I like spicy kids.
Yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, they're fun. As long as you take, good care and teach them well, they'll be fine.
Don't try to squelch his fire. Don't try to put it out. let it fly.
We're just not going to let it rage. That's all.
No raging. But the good thing about
nice normal fire.
Yes, but the good thing about Aries is they spark fast and they fizzle fast. So
I've noticed that with the fits he's thrown.
It'll be a and then it just stops.
And then silence. Yep. And then a few minutes later it happens again.
Yeah. So his astrology witch auntie here.
Yeah.
I get all the good astrology tea.
Then I don't have to.
Yeah.
Like, I just get it in my email, like...
That's right.
Like I signed up for something.
I know. I'm like, this is way too long to text you. I'm going to email this to you.
Right.
Yeah. So...
But we're absolutely enjoying him, and I'm so sorry, but we'll get back on track.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I think everybody can forgive us for not doing the episode, so...
Yeah, and I thought I was tired before. Nah. I'm tired now.
Very. She got like 0 sleep for days.
Yeah. I literally in the hospital was up for 2 days straight. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then I got mad at other people for taking naps in the only place there was to take naps when they had all slept many other times, but I had not. Rude.
Yeah. I would have been like, get up.
If they could hear me over their own snoring, perhaps that might have worked. But it did not. These are people that are sleeping like they don't hear a thing. I'm like, how do you live life like that? Because I hear everything in my sleep.
See, I would have rolled him off the little couch bed and been like, oh my gosh, you fell on the floor.
Cool, I get the spot now. My turn. Right. No.
Because I'm mean.
But you know what? I'm used to it.
Yep.
You know, I'm the one dragging the whole refrigerator in the house by myself, you know.
Yeah.
That's me. So I gotta
fierce
stay
independence.
Up. Cool, I'm up. Here I am. Doing all the things.
Yeah. That's just how we were raised, though.
Yeah.
To take care of everybody and take care of ourselves last. But we got to take care of ourselves, too.
Well, if we don't take care of me, there's nobody to take care of everyone else. And I mean, let's be real here. Yeah. They can't do it.
And I already said you deserve a double Mother's Day present this year.
That's right. As a matter of fact, to make you laugh, last night, I was holding the baby, and I said to my daughter, your baby just said that you owe me a cookie.
There you go.
And she went, and got me a cookie.
Thanks.
She's like, just a cookie? I was like, yes, a cookie. One single cookie.
Just want a cookie. I deserve this.
It had M&Ms in it.
Ooh, those are the good kind.
So.
Well, I guess we'll slide right into this episode, which is going to be one of those content disclaimer ones like you had last week. So,
fun times.
Yeah. So we're going to do a little content warning / disclaimer. This episode discusses real-life violence, domestic homicide, child death, suicide, mental health deterioration, chronic traumatic brain injury, and professional wrestling-related head trauma. It includes sensitive subject matter that may be distressing to some listeners. So if you don't want to hear it, please go listen to our next episode or one of our past episodes. And I'm sorry, but as someone who grew up in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, wrestling was huge. And like you said, like your dad was like this huge wrestling fanatic. My ex-husband never missed an episode. So therefore, by being in the same house, I got to watch it too.
I was about to say, same. Like, he didn't miss one, neither did I.
You know, as now people have all these options and choices and TVs in every room, we had like a TV.
Same, yeah. There was no TV in my bedroom.
No.
I had a radio. That was it.
Although, as a teenager, I did have one of those little tiny TVs in my room with the little clicky buttons on the top with the cable box. I did have one of those. But being, you know, a newly married couple,
you're like, I can't afford the second TV.
Yeah, we had a hand-me-down TV. So wrestling was on. You know, there was Monday Night Raw. There was like, shoot, I don't even remember all of them. Like SmackDown. There was cage matches. There was all kinds of stuff. So wrestling was a big part of that era in the like 90s, 2000s. It was huge. It was at its height. Like, there are wrestling figurines and all that stuff that came out during that time that were really big. And, like, all these little kids were sporting their plastic, like, belts and jumping off their bunk beds. And
that's when the Macho Man, Randy Savage, was snapping into a Slim Jim.
And, you know, fun fact, my sister used to work for ConAgra Foods, which produces Slim Jims, and she worked in the Slim Jim like room.
Oh, fun.
So that snap is actually an edible plastic.
Ew.
Yeah. And if you don't want to hear it and you love Slim Jims, just tune out right now, turn the volume down real quick. So it's literally like byproducts and bins full of discarded feet and hooves and lips and assholes. So, like, literally all those chopped up, made into a Slim Jim. Okay.
Nummy, nummy.
And we're back.
And wrapped in edible plastic.
Edible plastic. That's the snap. Yep. And, that's when, like, Ric Flair was Ric Flair and all the cool stuff. But
The Undertaker.
Yeah, The Undertaker, Kane, like, all of those were, like, huge household names. And Chris Benoit was a huge household name.
Yes.
Like, he was part of all of that. So we're going to back up to, like, where I started in the intro to June 25th, 2007. When authorities entered the home of professional wrestler Chris Benoit, they did not find an athlete. They did not find the hero he was perceived as on TV. Instead, they found a scene that would permanently fracture the legacy of professional wrestling itself. That tragic day, 3 lives were gone. Chris Benoit, his wife Nancy, and their 7-year-old son Daniel. Yeah.
I hate when that happens and they take...
It's like, why
take everyone else's life?
I don't get it either, and I've tried. I've looked into the psychology of why people do that, and it's just, I don't know. But
and the kids.
Yeah.
The kids.
He was an innocent child. You could have just left him and sent him to his grandparents something.
Right.
Like, why?
Get him out of the house before you did that.
You left the dogs in the backyard by the pool.
Mm.
So, Chris Benoit was not born into fame. He was built into it. In a world of professional wrestling, especially, like I said, in the 80s and 90s, Benoit was known as something rare. He was a purist, a technician, a man who treated wrestling like performance and less like performance and more like combat choreography at the highest possible level. Benoit rose to fame as the Canadian Crippler through his technical proficiency starting in Stu Hart's Stampede Wrestling, and that was like mid-80s to like
I was gonna
early
say
90s.
Some old stuff.
That's
right
the
there.
old stuff. And then he started refining his craft in that same time until about 94 in New Japan Pro Wrestling as the Pegasus Kid. He built an international reputation for intense, high-quality matches, subsequently gaining prominence in the WCW, and that was from like mid-90s to 2000, as part of the Four Horsemen. Definitely remember that.
Yep.
He wasn't the loudest. He was not the flashiest. Like, he was not Ric Flair. But inside the industry, he was, right, respected in a way few performers ever are. He became known as one of the most technically gifted wrestlers in the world. Then came the rise of the WWE. So he was in the WWE from 2000 to 2007. And this, like, turned things on its head. It brought titles. It brought fame. It brought money. But it also brought something else. Pain. And, like, professional wrestling, it's scripted entertainment, but the physical toll is not fictional. Like, if you watch some of those matches, they script it, they practice it, but yeah.
Right. It's still, like, unpredictable. You can still get hurt, but it's just like being somebody's stunt double. Like, they get hurt all the time.
Exactly.
It's a very, very physical, laboring job as far as that goes. Like, it takes its toll on your body.
Yep. And if you're in something like Rage in a Cage and you can't get out and you're like 20 feet up and you get all of a sudden drop kicked off of a ladder, it's gonna hurt no matter how, scripted and staged it is.
How ready you are.
Right. Like, they teach you how to fall, and there's like the ring is kind of like a trampoline, not so much, but it's still gonna hurt. You're still gonna, like, sustain some injuries. So Benoit's style high impact, high risk, physically punishing meant years of repeated trauma. By the mid-2000s, his body was literally deteriorating. He had neck injuries, chronic pain, surgical fusion of vertebrae. He was reliant on lots and lots of painkillers.
That, is very limiting in range of motion, and you're, continuing to wrestle.
Exactly.
I can't imagine doing all that.
But he was popping painkillers, so numb the pain and let's go. And then there were the repeated concussions, which many, many, many of them, and not just him, were undocumented.
I bet.
There were lots of concussions.
I mean, if they documented all of those, they wouldn't be able to wrestle the next week.
Exactly. Yet, he was still performing at an elite level, but internally his system was breaking down. And this is where, modern science adds an important layer. After his death, examinations of his brain revealed severe damages consistent with, I'm gonna say this slowly because I got to pronounce it, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, which is CTE, which is a degenerative brain condition linked to repeated head trauma. CTE is also associated with memory loss, emotional instability, impulse control issues, depression, paranoia, cognitive decline. So, of course, when your brain gets beat up on the daily, it's gonna kind of fizzle out and cause all these things. It's gonna short circuit. But at the time, CTE was not widely understood in wrestling or any other sport for that matter. Football, all of those, boxing. Today it is recognized in contact sports as a serious long-term consequence of repeated head injury. But Benoit's world, pain was not a warning sign. It was just normal. I'm in pain. This is hurting. Give me a shot here. Let me take some pills there. We're good. The show must go on. He was often described as quiet, very disciplined, and intensely private. But behind the curtain, cracks were forming. His marriage had become strained over time. Reports from friends and colleagues described increasing tension in the household. There were allegations of emotional volatility. In May of 2003, his wife Nancy filed for divorce and a restraining order alleging cruel treatment and domestic abuse, though she later withdrew the filing and reconciled with Chris in August of that year, which happens a lot when women file restraining orders. Your brain is telling you, do this, and then your heart is like, oh, well, maybe I can, make this work. So you withdraw it.
Like a fool.
Yeah. So let's get into who Nancy was, because she was a very important woman also. So Nancy was born Nancy Tofalani. She was a prolific and highly respected professional wrestling manager, valet, and model who became a major star in the industry long before she married Chris Benoit. So she was a badass bitch. She was often remembered by her fans as Woman. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, I know who that is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She was a pioneer who helped define the modern role of female personalities in wrestling through her intelligence and commanding presence. So she was born in 1964, and she began her career as a model, and then she first entered the wrestling world as a fan in Orlando, Florida. She had started selling programs at shows before a photograph of her caught the attention of wrestling magazines. Very beautiful. Eventually leading to her transition into a managerial role. She was like really smart. So she was like, I'm going to work my way in here and work my way up. She was known for her ability to reinvent her character to fit like different promotions and storylines. She debuted in Florida Championship Wrestling, and she portrayed a dark, mysterious character known as the Fallen Angel. And then throughout the 90s, in the WCW, she was known as Woman. She also managed major acts, including the tag team Doom and the legendary Four Horsemen, which is where she met Chris. She also, worked along icons like Ric Flair, which we were talking about earlier. She did all of this stuff. But beyond her on-screen character, she was known behind the scenes for her deep understanding of wrestling psychology and business. So Nancy and Chris were married on November 23rd, 2000. In her later years, Nancy largely retired from the public eye to focus on being a mother to their son, Daniel, while continuing to manage her husband's career from their home in Atlanta. Those who knew her personally often described her as very kind, sweet, a very class act, like a classy woman who was easy to work with. So she was like, you know what? I have a child. I can't be out there injuring myself. I'm going to manage my husband. Everything's good. So now we're going to fast forward back to what happened in that span. It was a span of 3 days that all of this happened in June of 2007. The timeline reconstructed by investigators suggests escalating tragedy inside the home. So Chris was supposed to, they kind of worked together in groups, like him and Chavo and all that. They would, meet at the airport. They would fly to their next event. They were going to go to, they call it the Texas tour. So there was certain arenas around Texas because it's so big that they would hit during that time. And so, he told Chavo that Nancy and Daniel had food poisoning. And he's like, I really just want to be there and take care of them and all of this stuff. They're not feeling well. He's like, okay, keep me updated. I'll meet you at the airport, tomorrow, and then we'll see. So he didn't show up. So I guess they kind of planned things around him and all that stuff. Not a big thing. Wrestlers, I'm sure, do this sometimes. They miss.
Everybody calls in sick.
Right. So he really didn't think anything of it. So on June 22nd, once the, police had entered the home and everything, they put together this timeline that June 22nd, Nancy Benoit's body, she was killed. After investigating her body, her cause of death was asphyxiation due to strangulation. When they found her, her hands and feet were bound with coaxial cables and duct tape.
Does everybody know what a coaxial cable is?
So back in the day, everybody uses HDMI cables and things like that now.
Yeah,
so that was
different.
the old, it came from the wall and plugged into the back of your TV or cable box type thing.
The little
pokey needle thing. Yeah.
Thing in the middle and it screwed on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it would never screw on straight. So you were back there trying to screw it on 1,000 times on the back of this huge monster dinosaur TV.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the butt.
But they were heavy duty cables. So
they were.
He had, bound her hands and feet with one of those and duct taped them. Medical examiners found bruises on her back and her stomach, suggesting Chris had pressed a knee into her back while pulling a cord around her neck. So, imagine this man who is trained in how to do all this stuff pretty much can turn that into...
Looks like a wrestling move.
Yeah. So he, was on top of her, knee in the back, pulling this cable up around her neck. and strangling her. So they did toxicology on her. They revealed non-toxic therapeutic levels of hydrocodone, which is a painkiller, and Xanax for anxiety in her system. So she wasn't like on a bunch of drugs. These were prescribed. They were non-toxic levels, just regular stuff. So investigators determined like that was about her time. So he killed her on the 22nd. So by June 23rd, this is when they determined that 7-year-old Daniel Benoit was killed, also by asphyxiation. But he was found in his bed with no signs of external bruising. Toxicology reports show levels of Xanax in his system. So medical examiners concluded that he was sedated at the time of his death. So he gave him Xanax. I'm sure he was just looping out of it. And then he asphyxiated. It didn't say how he was. I don't know if it was a pillow over the face or he just held his hand over his face until he stopped breathing. There was no reports of neck trauma or anything.
Who knows, considering he like basically made him pass out before he did it.
Right. So there was nothing on there. So 2 days have passed. So then we're coming up on the 24th, 25th time, which we know that early morning, it was about 5:30 in the morning when he sent the text to Chavo Guerrero that the dogs were in the pool area in the fence and that the back door was unlocked. So it was sometime within that time that he went into his home gym, and that is where he died by suicide. Investigators determined that the cause of death was asphyxiation by ligature hanging. He used equipment within that space to be the, kind of hold him. So when he put the rope around or the cord around his neck, he could kill himself and hang. There was no note, no explanation, nothing.
Just that the dogs are out there by the pool.
Right. So, again, toxicology reports found that he had elevated levels of testosterone, indicating the use of synthetic hormones.
Of course.
He also had therapeutic levels of Xanax and hydrocodone in his system. So I know when that happened, people went crazy. They're like, oh, it was roid rage and all this stuff. That's what caused it. He was on steroids and all that. He was. But I don't think that was just what caused it. I think it was a culmination of a lot of things. There was really no public awareness of the situation until like the authorities conducted this welfare check and all of that. So investigators, just a side note, investigators also noted that there were Bibles placed near the deceased. And when they did the autopsy on Chris, he had a significantly enlarged heart, a condition that experts suggested could have led to like natural heart failure in the near future. So like he was on the path of dying anyway. Yeah.
But just him.
Right. Just him. He didn't have to go and take out his wife and 7-year-old son. He also had severe CTE across all lobes of the brain. Like severe. This is where this whole interpretation becomes delicate but important, because there was no single trigger. It was like a convergence of different things.
My thing is, if you have that bad of head injury, like that's got to be exhausting dealing with the pain from that, because your head's going to be constantly hurting. Like,
right.
You might want to die.
And then you're taking, like, all of this, like, steroids, testosterone, like, amplifying all this stuff.
Yeah.
So imagine, like, how any little thing triggered him. And I'm not making excuses for him, but, like...
No, but it had to be, like, really intense.
Yeah. Like, holy crap. So, while CTE was the primary focal point, investigators and biographers pointed to a dangerous cocktail of other stressors. So the autopsy report showed Benoit had 10 times the normal level of testosterone in his system.
Yikes.
That's a lot of testosterone. While doctors noted that steroids did not cause the brain damage, but they may have exacerbated his unstable mental state. You think?
Just a wee bit.
Just a little bit. So after the tragedy, professional wrestling entered a period of, like, intense self-examination because they had to. Questions were raised about concussion protocols, long-term brain health, performance pressures, painkiller use, mental health support systems. Like, his situation became, like, the catalyst for, like, them having to put all of these protocols into place.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I mean, at least something positive came from something terrible. Exactly.
His name was gradually removed from the WWE programming and archives. They didn't. He's not erased from history, but they, like, separated him from, like, any old stuff was not shown of him. Nothing. Just, like, he was never there. But the tragedy did trigger a federal investigation into steroid abuse in professional wrestling, leading to a congressional hearing where WWE executives were questioned about their wellness policy and drug testing protocols. Legally, the WWE maintained that Benoit had tested negative for illegal substances in April of 2007, but the fallout kind of forced the company to implement stricter management of that and significantly more, like, rigorous drug testing. So then we jump ahead, like, 2 years after all this because they were like, really, we don't know. It's a culmination of all of these things that happen. So there was really, for her family, there was really no answer. Like, he just flipped out and all this stuff happened and he killed them. So Maureen and Paul Toffolini, which were Nancy's parents and Daniel's grandparents, filed a wrongful death suit. The suit was filed in June of 2009 in the U.S. District Court in Noonan, Georgia. Her mother, Maureen, acted as the personal representative for the estates of both Nancy and Daniel. The lawsuit specifically targeted Dr. Phil Aston, which was Chris Benoit's personal physician, as well as 3 unnamed drug distributors. Notably, like, the family did not name WWE in this specific suit.
I was about to say, do they include, like, I would imagine there are doctors on staff at WWE as well that have to be treating these guys and
it's
giving
just like,
them things.
When you're watching football, there's doctors on the sideline that are, like, treating, like, oh my gosh, they're injured. They run back there, they start treating, they do whatever they got to do. So yeah, there are doctors on staff. But then he also had his personal doctor that prescribed him stuff. So the suit sought like compensatory and punitive damages. I think I said that right.
Yes.
Compensatory. I was like, hold on. For the full value of the lives of Nancy and Daniel, as well as for the pain and suffering they endured prior to their deaths, because it wasn't a happy family life. Separately, Maureen also filed a lawsuit against LFP Publishing Group, which is the publisher of Hustler magazine, after the magazine published nude photographs of Nancy, which were taken years before her death without her consent. So all this tragedy happened. So Hustler's like, hey, I got an idea. We have these photos of Nancy that are nude. Let's put them in our magazine.
She's dead. She can't say anything. My thing is why do they have nude pictures of her?
Yeah.
If there was never a consenting moment.
Yeah.
That's weird.
That is very weird.
I want to know how they came to be.
So while the family initially won a $19 million, jury award type thing, the verdict was later overturned by an appeals court on First Amendment grounds. I'm like, how?
Right. I was like, how does that apply?
Because they own the photos and they,
But how do they? I don't know.
But you just picked some bad timing to release these. That's fucked up. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Really bad. So, the family did sue the doctor. The doctor did get prison time because with a lot of these medical professionals who treat celebrities, they're out here writing prescriptions under the
they'll give them whatever they want.
Right, because they're paying for it.
Yep.
So, I think it was all the brain injuries and the testosterone levels being high and all of the things, like you said, how is he even functioning with that level of pain and things in his system that caused this? And they were, having marital problems. So it was just a trigger. And his excuse was, I'm going to stay home because they have some food poisoning, but he had already planned to kill them.
Yikes.
Yeah. So.
My family's sick.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. I mean, that's just messed up.
It is.
Tell everybody that they're ill and you need to stay home and take care of them. Like your intentions are kind there, but then to turn around and do that. Whew.
But then, there had to have been warning signs. There had to. I mean, she had already filed for divorce before and a restraining order because of the volatile, home life.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. Was there physical abuse previously? Yeah. Because I can't imagine him just never flashing out physically until that very moment.
So it was most definitely previously. There were police reports. There were things that were filed beforehand. So it wasn't just a one-time thing. But how many warning signs are people willing to ignore before?
How bad does it have to get before you realize you're about to die?
Right. So, pay attention to those warning signs. If you know that somebody is feeling a certain type of way and things are happening, or you yourself, because again, I was in a abusive relationship and I knew things were happening and I knew things could escalate, but in my head, I had to be people would be like, oh, why didn't you just leave? You got to be in the right situation, in the right time, in the right place to do that sometimes. Especially if you don't have the means to get out. I'm sure she had it, but also she managed him. So there was a lot of legal things in place, I'm sure. I would rather
the legalese,
the legality of it get ugly than lose my life.
Absolutely.
Money's one thing, but your life is another.
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, that was the story of Chris Benoit and how I had heard the story, but I never went in depth of what happened and how it happened and all of his stuff, because you really don't think about it. You're like, oh, they get knocked around a little bit. They have doctors. It's fine. But
it's so sad for all of them, really.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's
like, what are
thousands of them with those brain injuries.
Like, you sit and think about, like, what you're willing to put on the line to make all that money.
Yeah. Like, is it worth putting your body and your brain and your life through that to make some money? Because you get caught up in the fame and the
celebrity
of all of it, yeah.
And then all the money. I mean, who doesn't want some of that?
Right. You're like, look, I have an action figure of myself. So what?
Woohoo! But
yeah,
my head hurts every day.
Yeah.
Like, I can't stand a headache. And I can't even imagine living with one that comes from that. Yep. So
I'll wake up with a headache and I'm like, why?
It would probably make me crazy at some point, and something terrible would happen.
Yep.
That's all I would need is that long-lasting headache.
And really, that's probably my point where I, like, go a little bit cuckoo, is when I have a headache and things are, like, stressing me out. And I'm like, ugh, I can't take today. My head hurts.
Exactly. Like, no, get away from me.
Get away from me before I, like, say something I shouldn't say.
I'm going to karate chop you in the throat.
Right. Like I said this morning, I'm going to go punch someone in her sleep. Because she is, like, really, really getting on my nerves.
Didn't have to have a headache for that one.
Nope, did not.
She is the headache.
But I was already having a morning, so.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, you know who doesn't give me a headache?
Who's that?
Patty Salzetta.
Right. Her music is so soothing.
It is.
It's absolutely therapeutic.
So fun. So fun. Mm-hmm. We get to hear it every time we listen to an episode.
Absolutely.
Something she created. So thank you.
Thanks, Patty. And if you have a story, since I know you guys were looking forward to a Sweet Tea After Dark episode, but if you have one for the next time, you have a human life. It's fine. A cute one at that. But if you have, we didn't have one for this one, so Pearl was going to do one of her own.
Yeah.
But this gives you a chance to get your story in there.
That's right.
Because we can pop it out there and get it done for the next one.
Yep. So
if you
send them over.
Yeah.
holdmysweetteapodcast@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
And
as always, Hold My Sweet Tea is a Drunken Bee production. That poor sad little bee.
It's a tired drunk bee. Sorry.
Right. A sleepy drunken bee production. And you guys remember to stay safe out there. Don't tombstone pile drive off of a 10-foot ladder, 20-foot ladder, anything like that.
Beat people with metal chairs.
Don't be one of those backyard wrestlers that think you're cool because you listen to ICP.
Throwing the mattress in the yard. It's not the same.
I had to throw ICP in there because, the Juggalos and they're wrestling. Which they were wrestlers also. Because it was in that height.
Funny enough.
But you guys, stay safe out there. And remember, just because we're dipping doesn't mean you can't keep sipping.
Bye.